What's up, everyone? It's Casey Veggies. So it's late August, and I'm trying to get some beets in the ground while I still can for a winter crop. You know, planting and planning a winter garden can be kind of tough because you gotta find the space first of all in a busy summer garden where you got a bunch of things growing, but you also got to get them in the ground early enough for them to reach maturity and create the fruit by the time a frost rolls around in sometime in October. So you really got to plant in August crops. Plant seeds or starts in August to have them reach maturity by the time it gets too cold and too dark to really have anything grow. Not much grows here in our temperate climate after October, and beets usually are about 60 to 70 days from the time you plant them to maturity, and you can actually look on your little seed packet and it'll tell you how long that is. This specific variety is 65 days. So I'm gonna get them in here in late August, and they're gonna grow through September and October, and hopefully reach maturity and have a little bit of a beet bulb for me to be able to harvest throughout the winter. The nice thing is beets are hardy and they sit underground when they grow. So really, if they've reached maturity, they'll just kind of sit there all winter, and you can just kind of harvest throughout the winter and hopefully have some fresh produce, fresh beets, throughout the whole winter. So I've been soaking these seeds in a wet paper towel for a few days to help with germination. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that pitchfork over there, a handy tool for any garden, to kind of loosen up the soil. And then I'm going to sow these seeds, a couple inches apart and in a line, and go from there. I've identified a patch next to my lettuce in my summer garden. I'm gonna eat that lettuce over the course of the next month or so, and by the time these beets get a little bigger and need more space, ideally, if my planning works out perfectly, that lettuce will be gone. I'll have eaten it, and the beets will have a little bit more space to come up. So I'm gonna just loosen up the soil real quick, come back, and sow these seeds. Just a little beet patch. So I'm gonna kind of sprinkle these in or so in this little line, about a ½ inch deep, and cover with soil, a couple inches apart or so. Again, it's not an exact science, because what I'll do is as these come up, I'll thin these out. And the cool thing about beets, you can eat the beet greens, so when you thin them to create more space for the plants, you can just eat those. You can eat those beet greens. Sometimes they'll even have a little small beet bulb that you can eat as well as you thin out your plants, which is awesome. I love eating. I love thinning to eat beets. It works really well. So I'm not going to be that exact with where I sow these. If a couple are closer than an inch or two to each other, that's no big deal. So I've sowed those in a line, about a ½ inch deep. I'm going to come in, I'm going to loosen up some soil and cover it. Breaking up clumps to kind of create a nice loose soil. Hit it with some water. and hopefully I'll have some nice nice beets like this winter that I can pair with some other winter crops like leeks or broccoli or Brussels sprouts or cabbage, hardy vegetables that will do well in our temperate winter climate. Hopefully I'll be eating beets this winter. So that's all for today. Peace.